Hello, in this video I'm going to show you one of the two weak places where coolant leak is a problem on the Mercedes with an engine OM651, that's the 220 CDI and 250 CDI. The two weakest points where the coolant leak is developing are, one of them is the water pump, which is on the front, and the other one is the fuel filter housing. In this case, the fuel filter housing is leaking, so I'm going to show you how to remove the fuel filter housing and how to replace it. At this moment I'm trying to show you that there is coolant all over the intake manifold coming from the fuel filter housing. When we start disassembling some parts, it will become more visible. In order to remove the fuel filter housing, we start with removing some parts first. First we start with the vacuum box. There is a couple of vacuum lines that we need to disconnect. One of them is on the rear and another two or three are on the bottom. There is also a couple of bolts that we need to remove on the vacuum box, but I've already removed them. So now we take out the vacuum lines which are on the bottom. We can use a screwdriver to pry them out. If the video is useful, give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel to see more videos like this. Next, we'll start removing the clamps on some of the hoses. This hose is for the E250 cooler. We need to remove. This is the other hose for the E250 cooler that we need to remove. And next, we can remove the E250 cooler. The E250 cooler is held by 3 bolts on top I showed, 3 bolts on the bottom which are not visible at all, and 2 bolts on the front, one on the bottom and one on top. You'll see exactly how I'm removing them. In order to remove the bottom left bolt on the E250 cooler, I need to remove a bolt just there that holds one sensor, and then I'll have access to that bolt. And now I can remove the bottom left bolt on the E250 cooler. Next I'm removing this bolt that holds the E250 cooler. There is also another bolt just down there, just underneath the cooler, that I need to remove. And now I need to remove the last bolt on the E250 cooler. It's on the bottom of the cooler exactly in the center. You'll see now. I need a long extension for that to start turning it. And once I remove the last bolt, now I can take out the EGR cooler. Now it's easier to see where the bolts are on the EGR cooler. 3 bolts on the bottom, 3 bolts on the top. One here on top and one on the bottom there. Next I need to remove the fuel filter. So first I start by disconnecting the 2 fuel lines and the electrical connector as well. There's 2 clamps holding the fuel filter in place, and now I can take out the fuel filter. Next I need to bring up this plastic cover that holds the wiring harness. There is 3 clips, one on the rear, one on the middle and one on the front that I need to push so that it goes up to release the fuel filter housing. Now that I have a little bit more space, there is a bolt over there that holds this metal plate over there. I need to remove that bolt. There is actually 2 bolts. I can remove them to remove the metal plate. Now that the fuel filter is removed, we can see how much coolant is on the top of the intake manifold. The only place that can come from is from the fuel filter. Now I can start removing the bolts for the fuel filter housing. One of the bolts is just there. The other bolt is just there. There is another bolt just over there behind the fuel filter housing that holds it. Need to remove that as well. Next, I need to remove the clamps for the coolant hoses that connect to the fuel filter housing. There is one big hose and one small hose that I need to remove. And once I've disconnected everything, I can take out the fuel filter housing. And that's the fuel filter housing out. Now I'll show you where exactly the problem is with the fuel filter housing. The problem is just over there where the O-ring is, where the seal is, just down there. With time, the plastic next to the seal gets worn out and starts leaking coolant just there. Now we can put on the new fuel filter housing and assemble everything back in the reverse order. Thank you for watching.